Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to take some time on the floor of the United States Congress, House of Representatives to be specific, to honor and recognize the service of our law enforcement agencies across this great country. We've been dealing with the reactions from the tragic death of Michael Brown last August. Almost continually every week we hear of some tragic death, shooting, incident across this country. And we all understand and realize that all loss of life is a tragedy. But there's been an outbreak of violence across this great country that's equally disturbing, resulting in the brutal assassination of 2 law enforcement officers just before Christmas. Mr. Speaker, I was a law enforcement officer for 33 years in King County, which is the county seat of Seattle, Washington. I started when I was 21 years old in 1972. I worked in a police car and I was a detective. I worked the street undercover for a short time, and I never knew when I left home if I would see my family. When would be the next time I would see my wife, my children. When I told them goodbye for a day at the office, I didn't know if I was coming back home, and neither did they. And every law enforcement officer across this great country lives with that knowledge, and every family member lives with that fear. I missed holidays and birthdays and anniversaries, and I'd be called out in the middle of the day or the middle of the night or on the weekend, or I remember one day missing my daughter's birthday, and on Christmas Eve, remember driving around in the middle of the night patrolling while others had their relatives parked in their driveways, and they were in sharing Christmas dinner and presents with their family and friends. But once a cop, always a cop, and 24 hours, 7 days a week. And I've been in Congress for 10 years, but I was a cop for 33 years. A lot of people think cop is a derogatory remark, but it's actually a badge of honor. I was the sheriff for the last 8 years of my career, but one thing I said when I left, if the members of the King County Sheriff's Office, which are nearly 1,100, it's the 12th largest sheriff's office in the country, said that Dave Reichert was a great cop, that's what meant the world to me. If they said I was a good sheriff, that was icing on the cake, but I just wanted to be known as a good cop, working my district and my beat and doing the job that I was trained to do and serving the public. Police officers do what they do because they care. They go to work every day because they want to save lives, not to take lives. They put up with ridicule and harassment and assaults and even the ultimate sacrifice, death, always facing dangerous situations, putting their life between their communities, their public, and danger. Sometimes, as I said, the ultimate sacrifice is made. And during my career, I lost a partner and a good friend who was shot and killed in 1982. In 1984, I lost another partner and a good friend who was stabbed to death with a sword. These men died serving and protecting their community. But they left behind a family. They left behind sons and daughters and spouses, orphaned children, and widowed. The men and women who keep us safe find themselves in life and death situations far too often, and in many instances, taking down a bad guy means losing a good guy, too. And life and death situations are never easy. I remember one instance that I was working plain clothes, and went in with a group of my team of officers on a drug search warrant. And I was the sergeant leading that team. My assignment was to go in the front door and turn to the right and make sure that the bathroom in that apartment, that small apartment, was secure. We went in the front door, I kicked in the bathroom door, and I found a person sitting on the toilet. As he stood, he revealed that he had a rubber band around his bicep and a heroin needle stuck in his arm. And you could see that his eyes were glazed over. I told him to raise his hands, and instead of doing that, he grabbed a gun. Now, Mr. Speaker, I could have shot that man. In a split second, he grabbed a gun. My life was in danger. But I had a feeling I could talk him out of that gun. I just had a feeling I could reason with this man, even though he was high on heroin. So I didn't shoot. And I was able to talk him out of his gun. In fact, he dropped it in the toilet. What would you do, Mr. Speaker, if you were standing there with that decision? In an instant, you had to make a decision. Shoot or don't shoot. Our men and women who wear uniforms every day have to make that split-second decision. Now, they don't always make the right decision, but more often than not, they do. The men and women in uniform across this country are human beings, and they make mistakes, as we all do. And we need to understand that. But when the mistakes are made, police officers expect to have scrutiny applied. They expect oversight. They expect to have the action they took reviewed and reviewed and reviewed. And they respect the rule of law and the process of the review and the investigation and the judicial process that needs to take place. As all Americans across this country, we need to recognize that process too. Reacting to bad situations by disregarding the rule of law only makes things worse in this nation and creates harm in our communities rather than harmony. Everyone must come together. Communities and law enforcement should be partners in protecting our families. Communities and law enforcement should be partners. Just as I was partner with my partners that I spoke about earlier, the community should be our partner, the law enforcement's partner. And what do good partners do? They trust each other. Community must trust their police department. The police department, sheriff's office must trust the community. Work with one another, depend on one another. And I think, Mr. Speaker, if we do that, if we can stop for a moment and listen to the facts and respect the law that exists here in the United States of America, the greatest country in the world. Yeah, we're not perfect, but we have the best system. And if we all come together and recognize we have the best system and where it needs to be changed, let's change it. But as the process goes through, let's respect it. And if we do that together, Mr. Speaker, we can continue to live in the greatest country